Decades ago now, Edward Abbey said, "Growth for the sake of growth is the ideology of the cancer cell." I want you to keep that in mind as you think about whether or not to grant this permit, that not all growth is necessarily good. You've heard a lot tonight, and I don't want to reiterate a lot of it. We at Friends of the Gorge do share almost all the concerns you've heard tonight, particularly about the fact that this rezoning proposal is almost assuredly for the export of fossil fuels, most likely coal, maybe oil, but trying to divorce this proceeding and this decision from that reality is irresponsible. So I would urge you to very much please listen to all the comments you've heard about that, because that is almost assuredly what this project will be for. Not only is this not a good idea for all the reasons associated with the export of fossil fuel, but the use of this land for agricultural purposes, as you've heard many times, is a far, far better use of this land. And it's far better for your community. At Friends of the Gorge, we're very concerned, of course, with impacts on the gorge. And that's the main reason I'm here tonight. We are concerned because most likely what would happen at this place is a coal export terminal. And that would mean grave impacts for all the communities all along the railroad route, not just in the gorge, but in Vancouver, in Portland, all the way out through Idaho and into Montana. We are part of the Power Pass Coal Coalition, which represents an organization of over 90 nonprofits and groups, all of whom are concerned about what's happening in Clatskanie and in the other communities that have proposals like this. We're concerned about the fact that these railroad tracks might have to be doubled in size if even any of these proposals goes forward. We're concerned with the health impacts to all the people who live along this route, from the emissions of coal dust and diesel emissions and all the other impacts you've heard tonight that these proposals would bring. And we're also concerned with the impacts on wildlife. We're very much concerned with the health of the Columbia River, which is already in jeopardy, from existing coal trains going through the gorge and many other sources as well. And you've also heard tonight that this is almost assuredly against the state planning goals of the state. Coal exports also are probably not even viable anymore. This is not a sound investment, and it's very likely that the land you're proposing to set aside for this project will never end up seeing use for these coal export proposals. Not only because of the opposition this is seeing across the country and throughout these states, but because of the declining market in Asia.
Appreciate that. Next, please.